joining through radio stations, including Radio Maria England and Luminous Radio India, as well as Radio Maria Papua New Guinea. And a most warm welcome to those of you joining through our dedicated American Sign Language broadcast, made possible with the help of our friends at Deaf Catholic Youth Initiative for the Americas. It'll be my pleasure to be with you today and provide you with the English language translation of Pope Leo's words. I'm Linda Bordoni. So just a few minutes at midday exactly, Pope Leo will appear from the window of this balcony in Castel Gandolfo. As I mentioned, it is a tiny little town in the Alban Hills, much cooler than Rome, where he's taking a summer break that is scheduled to end very soon. So as we await the Pope, you'll be seeing images of perhaps the pilgrims in the square holding up banners, holding up flags, and the Pope will lead a short reflection based on the Gospel reading of the day, and then lead the faithful and you who are following from home in the Angelus prayer. You are all invited to join in. We see here a hot, sunny day in Castel Gandolfo. We expect Pope Leo XIV to return to the Vatican early this week to resume his full schedule of activities after, I'd say, a 3-week break, in which he has, however, met with various groups. He has traveled to visit shrines and sanctuaries close to where he is staying. He's taken some kind of well-deserved rest, and as he himself has said, has tried to make the most of a bit of physical activity in the Barberini palace where he is staying. It's the papal summer residence. Here we see Pope Leo XIV, who is not at the balcony as I had imagined, or as I had said, or erroneously said, but at the doorway of the palace. Dear brothers and sisters, happy Sunday.
Al centro dell'insegnamento di Gesù,
at the heart of Jesus' teachings lies the mystery of the kingdom of God, which today's gospel likens to a treasure and a pearl. The parables convey the surprise of those who find something far beyond what they could have hoped for, so much so that selling or leaving everything behind no longer seems a sacrifice but a gain. Indeed, from the very beginning, the evangelists portray Jesus' call to follow him as irresistible. It's a free choice, yet also urgent and capable of eliciting a ready and wholehearted response. This is the first important aspect of how God is near and makes himself known. Encountering his kingdom marks a turning point that does not limit life, but enlarges it. If anything must change on our part, it's only so that our lives may be opened to greater possibilities, not fewer. There's a second aspect that Jesus seems to attach great importance to. The one who finds the treasure hidden in the field is likely a peasant, while the pearl is recognized as precious by a merchant, perhaps a traveler. 2 more parables follow in which the protagonists are fishermen and a scribe well versed in both the old and the new. Other parables compare the kingdom to a woman kneading dough or tidying her house. to a king planning for war, a man designing a tower, administrators managing payments or investments, and to shepherds and farmers. In short, the kingdom of God reveals its inestimable beauty in different ways, but calls everyone, men and women, young and old, rich and poor, to a profound renewal. Everyone is capable of understanding it and is drawn to it. Today, too, the Church is a communion of people who differ in origin, culture, abilities, and responsibilities. Yet all are called to recognize themselves as one in Jesus Christ. He is the hidden treasure, the pearl of great price, the net that gathers those who are scattered. From the beginning, Jesus called and gathered around himself people who would otherwise never have come to know one another. In this way, he demonstrated that God has no favorites, but instead offers his love freely, especially to the little ones or those cast aside. Brothers and sisters, all we have to do is ask for this gift, the very same one sought by the young King Solomon. It's the gift of recognizing the pearl of great price, of discerning the treasure for which it is worth selling everything. While the consumer culture influences our tastes, constantly creating new needs, only to sell us solutions that never satisfy and that sometimes even poison the heart, we must learn to grasp what truly matters, the treasure of a relationship with God that opens us to joy and helps us to live our relationships with one another more fully. May the intercession of Mary, seat of wisdom, direct our desire for life towards Jesus, so that in him it may find its complete fulfillment.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Santa Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ecce ancilla Domini. Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Santa Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Et verbum caro factum est.
Habitavit in nobis.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Santa Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ora pro nobis, Sancta Dei Genetrix. Oremus. Gratiam tuam quesumus Domine, mentibus nostris infunde, ut qui angelo nuntiante, Christi filii tui incarnationum coniovimus, per passionem eius et crucem ad resurrectionis gloriam perducamur, per Christum Dominum nostrum. Amen. Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sanctum. Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto. Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto. Pro fidelibus defunctis, requiem aeternam, dona eis Domine, et lux perpetua, luceat eis. Requiescant in pace. Amen. Dominus vobiscum. Sit nomen Domini benedictum. adiutorium nostrum in nomine Domini. Benedicat vos omnipotens Deus, Pater et Filius et Spiritus Sanctus. Cari fratelli e sorelle,
Dear brothers and sisters,
ieri in Libano,
yesterday in Lebanon, Elia Hoyek was beatified, the patriarch of Antioch of the Maronites. From 1891, for more than 30 years, he led the Maronite Church. He was the founder of the nuns. He led the Maronite Church with great dedication and pastoral sensitivity. A man of dialogue and hope, he was a shining point of reference in ecclesial and social and political life, so much so that he came to be known as the father of Greater Lebanon. May the prayers and intercession of the new Blessed always accompany the Maronite faithful throughout the world and obtain the gift of peace for the people of Lebanon, a country so dear to me. I follow with concern the continuing escalation of violence in the Holy Land, where many civilians have also recently fallen victim, both in West Bank and in Gaza. I make a heartfelt appeal for a return to negotiations aimed at achieving a just political solution founded on the equal dignity and equal rights of every human person, and for the rejection of further military action and unilateral decisions, particularly those that violate respect for and the status quo of the holy sites of every religious faith. I also renew my appeal regarding the situation throughout the Middle East, where an intensification of military operations has brought renewed violence and destruction, gravely endangering the lives of countless civilians and worsening the shortage of drinking water and electricity. From the depths of my heart, I urge all parties involved to suspend their attacks and to reopen, without delay, avenues of dialogue and diplomacy, so that peace, so greatly desired for the entire region, may soon be achieved. Let us continue to pray for all the peoples throughout the world who are suffering because of war. May the Lord touch hearts and enlighten the minds of those in positions of responsibility, so that reconciliation and peace may soon prevail. In the face of the devastating wildfires that are inflaming various areas of France and Spain, I express my closeness and invite everyone to pray for those affected and for the work of the helpers. Today we celebrate the 6th World Day for Grandparents and Elderly, whose theme is drawn from the words of the prophet Isaiah, "I will never forget you." Together, let us thank the Lord for the gift that older people are to the Church and to society. And let us commit ourselves to respecting and valuing their precious role, while always ensuring that they receive the care, attention, and assistance they deserve. I also greet all of you present, residents of Castel Gandolfo and those from other parts of Italy and of the world. A special welcome to the pilgrims of l'opera della Chiesa,
e ai vescovi
and to the bishops
che li accompagnano.
who accompany them.
Un benvenuto e saluto ai bambini
Welcome
provenienti
and
dalla
greetings
Casa della Misericordia
to children
di Charkiv
from
in Ucraina.
the Church of
Ospiti
Mercy
presso la
in
parrocchia di
Cherkiv
San
in
Michele
Ukraine, who
Arcangelo
are
di Nocera Superiore.
guests of a parish
Agli
in
adolescenti della
Nocera
parrocchia di
Superiore.
Manerbio. Ai partecipanti
To the
all'incontro
participants
internazionale
in
dei
the
giovani
International
organizzato nel
Youth
bicentenario
Meeting
della morte di Santa
organized
Giovanna
for the
Antira Re.
centenary of Saint Joan
Ai giovani
Antira Re
pellegrini del
and the
movimento
young
di studenti
pilgrims
cattolici
of
11 Live fra
Catholic
Oosterdesi
students
di Maldegem in Belgio.
from Belgium,
Come pure
and
allievi della
also
scuola allievi
the scholars of
carabinieri di
the
Velletri,
church, the
accompagnati
School
dal
of
cappellano
Carabinieri in
e dai loro
Velletri,
ufficiali.
accompanied by their chaplain and their officials.
Saluti i membri della Catholic
I
Men's
greet
Association of Cameroon.
members of the Catholic Association of Cameroon, Catholic Men Association of Cameroon. Here they are in their blue shirts with the Cameroonian flags.
Rivolgo un particolare pensiero
A special
ai
thought goes
partecipanti
to
alla Sagra
participants
delle Pesche di Castel
of the Peach
Gandolfo,
Festival of Castel Gandolfo,
che sono venuti portando
who
i
have
loro
come
frutti per la
bringing
benedizione.
their fruit to be blessed.
Stasera a Roma,
This
sul
evening in
Tevere,
Rome,
si terrà la
the
processione
traditional
della
Madonna Fumarola
Maria,
procession will
Madre di
take
Gesù,
place along the river
ottenga ai
Tiber. May
partecipanti a
Mary,
questa bella
Mother of
tradizione
Jesus,
e
obtain
tutti
for all
noi
those
di
taking
vivere
part
ogni
in this
giorno
beautiful tradition,
secondo
and
gli
for all of us
insegnamenti del
the
Vangelo.
grace to live each day
E a tutti
according to the
voi
teachings
auguro di
of the
cuore
gospel.
una buona domenica.
To all of you, have a very happy Sunday. Pope Leo standing at the awning of the doorway, just waving to the crowds. And we see, I assume the person must be the mayor of Castel Gandolfo with his band. And the Pope is now greeting some of the faithful who are filing up. They're bringing a basket of peaches, as he mentioned. In Castel Gandolfo today they celebrate the annual Peach Festival. He's greeting children who are dressed in their Holy Communion garments and giving each of them a peach. No, they're giving him a peach to put in the basket. The area around Castel Gandolfo is an area where peaches and a lot of other fruit is grown. The Pope is greeting pilgrims who have brought, as they always do, gifts. Looks like a handmade pizza. And we hear the Viva il Papa acclamations rising from the crowds. Now the Pope has stepped down off the awning into the square to greet the prelates who are present in Castel Gandolfo this Sunday, the 26th of July. And he's walking along the fencing, shaking hands, saying hello. We see the Carabinieri crowding up to greet him. The Carabinieri are part of the Italian security forces. They're the ones that wear the dashing black uniform with the red stripe. They are clearly cadets, they're very young. And now he's just saying hello to the ordinary people who have crowded to the square here in Castel Gandolfo to see what I assume will be the last Angelus this summer given from this particular venue, as Pope Leo XIV is coming to the end of his summer break and he will be traveling back to the Vatican. So from next Sunday the Angelus will take place as usual from the Apostolic Palace in St. Peter's Square. During his catechesis, he reflected on the gospel reading of the day, of the hidden treasure and the pearl, and invited Catholics to recognize what really matters in life. The Pope is now walking back up towards the entrance to the Apostolic residence here in Castel Gandolfo, and final greetings to the people on the other side of the square. I can see members of the Sovereign Order of Malta who do a lot of humanitarian work across the globe. Waiting to see whether the Pope will hop onto the Pope-mobile to take a drive through the crowds. As you can imagine, the people of Castel Gandolfo are very, very happy that this tradition of the Pope taking time to take a break in this lovely little village up in the hills where it's much cooler. Let's also remember the appeals he made at the end of his Angelus, his appeal for all the parties involved in the war in the Middle East to suspend their attacks, to reopen avenues of dialogue and diplomacy, and to bring peace that is so greatly desired for the entire region. He made particular mention of the countless civilians who are suffering in the West Bank and in Gaza. And he prayed for Lebanon, a country he says is so dear to his heart, remembering the beatification on Saturday of the patriarch of the Antioch of the Maronites, Elias Hoyak. Here he is, he's getting on the Pope-mobile, much to the joy of the pilgrims present in the square. It's a way to say, thank you for coming, I too am happy to be here. During his appeal, the Pope did not neglect to ask for prayers for all the peoples throughout the world who are suffering because of war, asking all men and women of goodwill to join in prayers to the Lord to touch the hearts and enlighten the minds of those in positions of responsibility, so that reconciliation and peace may soon prevail. His appeal for the Middle East was for a return to negotiations aimed at achieving a just political solution, founded, he said, on the equal dignity and equal rights of every human person, and for the rejection of further military action and unilateral decisions, particularly, he said, those that violate respect for and the status quo of the holy sites of every religious faith. And the Pope here is taking his time to reach out and shake many hands. as he takes a tour through the tiny little village, or borgo as we call it, of Castel Gandolfo, up in the Alban hills where the summer papal residence has recently been developed to include the Borgo Laudato Si and an institute of higher learning dedicated to care for creation. You can remember that institute is directed by Cardinal Fabio Baggio, and it hosts many events, workshops and courses dedicated to environmental studies, to the preservation of biodiversity, to the care for common home. We can see the breeze blowing, which is a thankful relief after these very hot days in Rome and even in Castel Gandolfo. But let's also remember his appeal for the hundreds of thousands of people. I believe there are about 270,000 people in France and in Spain who have been evacuated because of raging wildfires fueled by very hot temperatures and dry conditions, as there has been no rain. We've had people, victims, dying from the fires. As I mentioned, many people evacuated from their homes, from their lands. A truly disastrous situation for tens and thousands of people in Western Europe that has been undergoing a severe heat wave. And the Pope continues his tour in the Pope-mobile. So many hands shaken, so many photographs, so many Viva il Papa on this last Angelus address in Castel Gandolfo before he returns to the Vatican this week to resume his regular papal duties. As we've seen, pilgrims from Italy, from across Italy, but also from across Europe. I can see a German flag. We can see the Cameroonian delegation. We stopped to accept a gift and to greet mothers holding up their babies to be blessed. And the mayor of Castel Gandolfo, he's off the Pope-mobile now. He's walking back towards the apostolic residence. A last goodbye as we come to the end of this Angelus address with his catechesis dedicated to the gospel of the day and to his many appeals, especially for peace. That ends the live stream broadcast of the Pope's Angelus address on this Sunday, the 26th of July in Castel Gandolfo. So thank you to our sound engineer and to our audio coordinator, Daniele Giorgi and Jean-Charles Puzzolou. And thank you to our media partners. And a huge thank you to all of you who are joining through our dedicated American Sign Language broadcast, made possible with the help of our friends at Deaf Catholic Youth Initiative for the Americas. Until next time, Laudetur Jesus Christus, praised be Jesus Christ. I'm Linda Bordoni. Bye-bye.